Hey guys, this is Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. And I know I'm a little late by a whole lot, but we're finally getting around to doing my October plan with me and I'm kind of excited. I honestly had this idea of a theme since all the way back in like either January, February. I don't remember exactly when, but I do know that I watched it for the first time in my life, and yes, I refused to watch it as a kid because I was never one of those people that like to watch mainstream anything just because I didn't want to be a bandwagon hopper by any means. But my boyfriend bought it one day and he wanted to watch it, so we watched it together and I honestly really loved it. Like, I was kind of like obsessed with it for like the weeks to come. It was like really bad, but I really held off on doing this theme until October because to me, when I thought about Spirited Away, I really just thought of how magical but cute but heartwarming, like it just gets you in your feels. And that's what I really wanted to do for this month, because I know October you can do a lot. You could do like the foliage for the weather, you can do anything like Halloween related. I wanted to do Spirited Away because of its magical essence, and I thought it would be perfect for the month of October. So I decided to achieve that by doing very light pastel colors instead of your typical, orange, green, black, those types of colors. I wanted to keep it very light, airy, and very fresh. I don't know, when I thought about Spirited Away, I thought it was like something totally different that I've never watched before, and that's what I wanted to do when I did this theme, was do something that when I look back on it, be like, whoa, those colors. I don't usually go for it, but I like what it's doing. That's what I want to do when I look back on the spread. Last minute, I decided to color in the characters or the doodles just because I thought that not having them colored in would just look too bland, a lot of white space showing. So I broke my theme of color to kind of color in the doodles based on how they're supposed to be in the movie. But of course, I never pay attention to anything, and I totally got the shirt mixed up. So she's supposed to have like the green stripe and her shirt's supposed to be primarily white. I flipped it, but it's not bad. I actually like it, but I really didn't realize this until I started doing the mood tracker that you'll see later on. I didn't realize till then that I messed up, but I like it, so let's keep it. Why not? If you guys are curious as to what font I'm using, there isn't really any font that's called this. It's just something that I ended up coming out of my head. Basically, it's just my normal handwriting, but I kind of made it super sloppy, and I just went over with my Tombow Furonowski pen and pretty much made it look very irregular, and I like it because it gives a very simple, almost like a child wrote it, and it really did play on theme. So I like it enough where I just kept it going, honestly. So I actually couldn't find any good quotes for this month, so I just quoted some from the movie, and I honestly like this one because it really played onto my obsession with the movie itself, because I would not let go of my thought to do this theme ever since the beginning of the year. I didn't get to show you guys all the materials that I'm using for this month, and I'm just going to give you a quick snapshot of what those are. But what I pretty much used were a whole bunch of the Zebra Mild Fine Liner pens. I also used a little bit of the Tombow brush pens, and I just stuck to my true micron pens. I think if I do remember, I only used the 005, the 02, and the 03, but usually I stuck with the 02 because it's not too thick but not too thin, and it's my go-to. The only thing is I was struggling a little bit to use it throughout the spread just because it is running out, and the only way to really get that pen is if you buy the pack. I already have a whole bunch of duplicates, so now I'm in a little bit of a runt. Oh, and I actually forgot to tell you guys that I really tried my best not to outline so much in black ink, just because I thought black ink would be way too harsh for the type of, I guess, essence or the vibe I was going for. So I purposely picked the colors that I used for my theme because I actually had the corresponding color in a pen form. So basically, if I ever had to outline anything, I would use those colored pens and not rely on black ink. So it gave it more of a softer look and a softer touch than something harsh with black. But of course, I used it very, very sparingly just so I can get a little bit of definition. And for this month, I did go back to having a gigantic calendar for whatever reason I may need, but last month's calendar, it wasn't bad. It was just, it had a lot of space that I actually ended up not using just because I was just so busy. I hardly really touched my bullet journal, and it was just, I didn't want to stress too much about having to fill something up that didn't need to really be filled up. Now, this is totally optional. I made this because this is my bullet journal, so I wanted something a little bit more personable for me, but of course, you can change this into a brain dump section, you can put it to an expense tracker, anything really that you may need. But for me, I made a cute little page dedicated for the moments that I'm grateful for this year because, as you know, October is my birthday month and I'll be turning 26, and I kind of wanted to reflect back on the good things of this year and be a little bit more grateful. I've always seen a lot of people do those gratitude logs, and I've always wanted to do them, but I just feel like I would never have the time to basically log every day what I'm grateful for. And you may think that taking a few minutes to do that, you can come up with some things you're grateful for, but for me, I don't know, I just feel like time's always so fleeting, so I basically wanted to dedicate this page for that. And I wanted to take the time to actually talk about this because I think this is actually kind of important. And I have been asked several times throughout the year of how do I manage to keep up with my bullet journal? How do I make the commitment to log in it every day? Or, you know, should you feel bad if you don't do your weeklies consistently, if you don't even do your months consistently? And I will tell you now, please do not stress. Honestly, if I showed you my last bullet journal for the first half of the year, there's actually some months and some weeks I actually did not even finish just because I was just utterly so busy that trying to get those done actually gave me a lot of stress to the point I didn't really want a bullet journal anymore, but I still kept going and going and going and making sure not to give up because I don't know, I've always heard the notion that once you stop something, it's always harder to pick it up again, and I didn't want that to be the case with my bullet journal because I really like bullet journaling. I really love doing art too because before this, I actually never really did too much art. I thought that I would always have creative blocks, it just took too long, or once I would be in the middle of doing, artwork, I ended up not liking it and for whatever reason and just dropped it and would never pick up art for the next months to come. So I really like that with bullet journaling, it keeps me going with my hobbies. So basically, in a hindsight, please don't stress and please don't worry about being too consistent in your bullet journal. It's your journal. That's what makes it so awesome and so special. So that's why I'm saying that take it easy and just keep going with the flow a little bit. So I'm basically keeping the same habits that I've had for the last couple months, and I was thinking about adding some new ones as a good way to challenge myself, but honestly, I really feel like October is going to be really busy for me to the point where I might just fall a little bit behind. So I just stuck to my core habits, which, I mean, they don't usually change. I usually do the habits of my water intake, making sure I water my plants, my vitamins, and also I tried doing waking up at 7. That didn't really work out too well, so now we're changing it to 8 o'clock. Hopefully I can get up early enough in the morning without falling back asleep, because I did that a lot last month. And if anything, now I really have to keep myself on track with my plants, because I bought 2 new plants and I want them to, prosper. I must say, I really love this month's mood tracker, and I've been always feeling very indifferent about them just because either I never keep track of them or I never really think they serve much of a purpose for that month. But this month I decided that I wanted to do one, and this has to be my favorite so far. Like, this is number 1, like top of the top. And the reason why is because I've never really done something like this where I basically draw characters and there's like, I don't know, incorporating it with my mood. It's very weird, but I really tried this month to do something really different, and I really challenged myself. If you guys are not too good at drawing people, because I really am not, because Haku's a little questionable in his proportions, but we will talk about it. I would say a good way is you can always print out and always cut them out and like glue them into your book, and then just draw like the stars around them. I think that would be a good idea. Or you can even do the stars by themselves as like ways to track your mood, because those are my little fillers or the accents throughout the theme. So still pretty much look on par, but I wanted to capture their, I don't want to say relationship, but their bond, their special bond. That's what we'll call them, their special bond, because I know that there's like a whole fandom out there about wanting to ship them together, and everyone's still waiting on a part 2, even though it's been like over a decade long. A part 2's not coming, guys, but I've seen a lot of the like Reddit forums and all that. It's like crazy, but I basically still wanted to capture their special bond, whatever that may be, and have it play on with the theme. So that's why I drew the stars around them, and it just looks so nice and cute. And it honestly was a last minute idea that I'm glad I ended up doing. So you'll notice that all the doodles that I did for this theme, I basically had them look a little bit almost 3D-ish and not too flat. So basically I went over with the same color in certain areas to create a little bit of shadows, just so it gives a little bit of realism. I didn't go too crazy in highlights just because I wasn't trying to go too crazy with it. Plus I would have to deal with, light angles and crazy things like that. So I just kept it simple and stuck with shadowing. and it just helped bring an extra, I don't know, an extra lift to them. The only thing is, when I was doing Haku's hair, when you see pictures of his real like hair in the movie, it's a weird color, and I don't know how to describe it, and I don't even have a word for it, but it felt like it was like two-toned, and so I really just played with different colors for the Tombow pens and kind of just winged it. You guys, I highly recommend that if you wanted to do the bathhouse, I would just say just print out a copy of it and just slap it into your book, because I went a little overly too ambitious. I don't usually draw buildings or any type of architectural work just because it bores me and I'm not that good. But basically, I was inspired by a picture that I saw online months ago, even before I saw the movie, and I really liked it. And I pretty much got inspiration from that picture, and I'll post it here for you guys to see. But basically, if you want to take on the art challenge of basically recreating the bathhouse, go for it. I give you all the credit to do so, and if you do, please tag me on Instagram. I'll love to see that, because this took me like 2.5 days to do. My attention span was just like, it was here and then it was just gone, and so it took so long just to be able to finish this. But I really do love the end result, because I just feel like the magic happens right in the bathhouse. Like when you see it from the outside, it looks like just a really grand building, and I don't know, it looked nice. It may be magical, but you weren't expecting what would be inside. And in the movie, they showed like all these floors, elevators, people running around. A lot of people, actually. I was surprised. So that's why I wanted to incorporate the bathhouse, because I guess appearances are just deceiving. And if anything, maybe that could be a theme also in the movie, that appearances are deceiving. I really didn't notice that till now. So with my crazy building drawing, I decided to keep it really minimal and very chill on the other side of the page. So I just did 6 boxes, if I can count, for my weekly spread. And like I said, I really do think I'm going to be really busy this month. I just don't think that I'm going to have a lot of time to even write down what I need to get done on a daily basis. So I just kept it really simple and very sweet. I didn't add an event, box for any days of the week. I didn't include a task box for the week. I didn't really include anything. I just kept it very simple and minimal. Alright guys, we're here at the final flip through, and I'm so excited. This has taken me so long to do, but it came out really good, and I really love this different view of an October theme, because definitely not spooky, but definitely magical. And at least that's what I got when I first watched the movie, and hopefully you guys find that too. But until next time, bye!